One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. Then let me be free. One day I'm gonna be free. Mentally and physically, emotionally and spiritually. One day I'm gonna be free. I'm standing at the crossroads, feeling like a lost soul. Don't know where I wanna go, but all I know is I wanna be free. They're telling me to let it be, but that just ain't in me, no. Jealousy and envy, but all I see is I wanna be free. See everything I wanna be, exactly what I'm gonna be. Don't let it get the most of me. Eventually, I'm gonna be free. See everything I wanna be, exactly what I'm gonna be. Yeah. One day I'm gonna be free. I'm gonna be free. Let me be free. One day I'm gonna be free. Mentally and physically, emotionally and spiritually. Yeah. One day I'm gonna be free. I told them take their aim off me. Stop trying to get a name off me. If they would just let me be, I'm gonna be free. I told them take some chains off me and throw away the locks and keys. If they would just let me be, eventually I'm gonna be free.
Noble, but having your organs taken from you in secret after you die, for reasons unknown, with no apparent authorization, well, that is something that'll get y'all sued. And in Alabama, 2 separate families say the remains of their loved ones who died in state prisons were literally gutted. Charles Singleton died back in 2021. He was 74, and when his daughter attempted to plan a funeral, she was told it would be, quote, difficult to prepare his body for viewing, end quote, because of its, quote, noticeable state of decomposition and, quote, advanced skin slippage. That's super revolting, but there's more. The mortician reported that all of Singleton's internal organs, including his brain, were missing. Reportedly, there had been an autopsy at the University of Alabama, Birmingham, but officials there won't say why or what happened to Singleton's organs. The state does say that dead inmates are generally autopsied only when deaths are considered unlawful, suspicious, or unnatural, but Charles Singleton's death was none of those things. So this is all coming out now as part of a lawsuit over a second and very similar case from last November. This one involves a 43-year-old Alabama prisoner named Brandon Dodson, who was found dead for reasons unknown. And when his family hired their own pathologist to investigate, wouldn't you know it, Brandon's heart was nowhere to be found. Their suit accuses the Alabama Department of Corrections of, quote, appalling misconduct, nothing short of grave robbery, end quote. That's why I called Joseph Scott Morgan because he's a renowned death expert and he's a distinguished scholar of applied forensics at Jacksonville State University in Alabama. What is happening? It sounds very macabre and very weird, Joe Scott.
It does, Ash. How are you doing? Happy New Year, by the way. Yeah, horrible stuff. I was shocked when you guys reached out to me. I'd not been following these cases. And I will tell you this. Most people that die in custody, it is a requirement, and it's generally understood industry practice that when someone dies in custody, and this can even mean someone that is, say, on a hospital unit in a prison, that body must be examined, because I don't care if they're in a hospital unit at a prison or in the back seat of a patrol car, that's an in custody death. That means that the state is responsible for their mortal remains. And these autopsies, Ash, are very, very thorough. I've been involved in them over the years. And so the fact that these bodies were handled in the manner in which they're handled, in both cases, there was significant decomposition, is quite shocking, even by my standards.
Man, that is freaking crazy.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
What's going down with everyone, man?
Man, what's up with you? What's going on, everybody? What's going on with you, Mike? You doing all right?
Doing all right, doing all right. But how about
Man.
you? Where are you at? You got a different location.
Yeah, man, I'm in good old Lakeland Regional Hospital in Lakeland, Florida.
Oh, it looked like you were in like a nice high rise or something.
No, I wish I was, but well, I am in a high rise. I'm on the 7th floor.
There you go.
But
There you go.
But yeah, I'm in the penthouse at the hospital. I've been here since Saturday.
Man, do you want to elaborate on why you're there, or do you want to just, there's a lot going on,
Well, to let's see, to make a long story short, I ended up with a hole in my colon. So like I said, I've been here for the past 5 days trying to figure out exactly what needs to be done, whether it's surgery or medication, rest or whatnot. So that's kind of going both ways. But from what it looks like right now is that it's not going to be any surgery. It's going to be it's going to require a lot of rest and antibiotics, medicine, and whatnot. But we kind of stay clear of the surgery part for right now.
Wow.
So that's a good thing.
Absolutely.
So if everything clears tomorrow, as I hope it should, then I should be able to be home tomorrow. I was hoping to be out today, but they wanted to wait one more day. So
yeah, you're always like, man, I want to get home for the show. I know what you were feeling. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I know everybody been calling me wanting to know what we're gonna do a show today, and I was like, yeah, I mean the show gonna go on. The show gonna go as planned.
The show must go on. You're
so
doing it, man. For you, man. Man, that's legendary. And as people saying in here, yeah, AB is dedicated. Yeah, absolutely. Facts.
Yeah, so this particular situation here caught my attention while I'm sitting here in this hospital bed, figuring out what it was I was going to talk about this week. This caught my attention, and
yeah, big time.
It caught my attention on different levels. A lot of people, just about everybody I know someone that's involved, worked with, involved into, or live in the Department of Corrections. So not just the people that work there. Some actually got a little residency there, for whatever reason. Not my concern. But what was my concern, though, was when I was looking at this, and then I started looking at, the other stuff a part of this, because this guy here, Mr. Mr. Singleton. He's not the only one. It's a couple, and I'm thinking if they start actually investigating this, they're going to realize that there's a lot more than what they're putting out to be. But they're basically taking these prisoners when they pass away. Now, mind you, the state of Alabama has a rule that's already signed, a signed bill that states that any prisoner, if they happen to be deceased or passed away in the property of the Department of Corrections, that the only way that anything like that could take place is that if a affidavit paperwork had to be signed by the next of kin in order for that to take place. Now, if you was looking, anybody was watching that video, it also says on there that the state only does autopsies on prisoners if whatever happened to them was considered unlawful, suspicious, or unnatural. Now, when you're dealing with Mr. Charles Singleton, none of that applied. None of those three applied to him.
What's unnatural?
Basically, like if somebody had done something to you to the point that you had like an investigation,
like a stabbing or something like that led to death.
Right. Like as though so anything that happened
wasn't like stabbed, obviously, right?
Yeah, stabbed, hit, fight, whatever. You know what I mean? Then you just like out in the street, you would have to go and have an autopsy done to try to figure out the actual cause of death. So basically anything that constitutes where there was a mystery as to how this person passed away. Okay. Just like on the outside world, what constitutes you having an autopsy. Now, in his particular situation, he didn't fall within that. Okay. So when his daughter claims the body, and the funeral home goes and gets the body and brings it back to the funeral home to process the body to get it ready for a funeral, then they were informed that we can't do an open casket on him. Well, why not? Well, for one, he's decomposed, extremely decomposed. So that tells you right there that even when the man passed away, he was not properly cared for. He was not properly stored to the point that he was decomposed. And number two, he doesn't have any organs. They basically hollowed him out.
How does that even happen?
Well, this is what happens. They're in Alabama, in this particular prison, I'm pretty sure there's quite a few other ones. When they send people off for autopsy, they go to the University of Alabama, Birmingham.
Mm-hmm.
And their medical students do the autopsies. So there was a thing not too long ago where some of the students at University of Alabama, Birmingham was complaining that they had concerns rising as to whether there was actual consent given for them to mess with these bodies. Yeah.
So they would need consent to do that, obviously, right?
No.
And they don't.
No. And then when but also dealing with Mr. Singleton, when the daughter called and was pitching a fit about this, there's also a lawsuit going in conjunction with this right now. They got a hold to the university, and the university was like, "Oh, well, just come up here and pick it up." And they gave it to him in a red bag.
Just a bag, just
yeah, just a bag.
Jeez.
But you didn't even know whether or not what was in the bag was really his. You know what I mean? Or was it just or did they just gather it up and just put some stuff in a bag? You know what I mean? Okay, so not only did you take, not only did you take
Something's
all
not
the,
right here. I'm
all
just saying.
the weird, this one here was the one that struck me so weird because not only did you take all the body, all of his organs, but you took his brain too. Like you took everything.
Why?
Why? Why? I mean, because even with the standard autopsy, and when they go through, they do their, they go through and they weigh particular organs, they document everything. Anything that they take out, they do put it in a bag, and they store it back inside the body and sew it back up. Okay, they don't
Wow.
just they don't just keep them. Okay, so you got this that took place with him now, but it gets crazier. It gets crazier. Now you
Dude,
have
no
because somebody
kidding, Dana.
it gets crazier because um you have another one, and he was a 43-year-old by the name of Brandon Dodson, and his cause of death was unknown. And when the family hired their own pathologist to investigate it because uh, they couldn't figure out exactly what had happened, um, the pathologist called him back and informed him that Brandon heart wasn't in his body.
Mm.
So not only do they not know what happened to him, but his heart gone too. Now tell me how much sense that makes.
It doesn't. I mean, what are you gonna do with the brain though? Like, it's not like you can do anything with that. I can understand maybe a heart. I can maybe
No,
understand.
not his brain. No, not his brain. His heart. His heart was missing.
Right, it completely missing, just like his brain
Right.
was missing too, right?
The brain was missing on Mr. Singleton.
Right,
I'm
and
talking
so
about Mr. Dodson. His heart was gone.
right, and so I can understand a heart. That's what I'm saying. Is like
Hmm.
needing to, that being, gone. I can understand that, but like a brain, like why? You can use a heart to save someone else's heart, right?
Yeah, yeah, but
Right.
there's also paperwork and stuff that's in that as well. Okay,
But I'm
so
sure
let's
there's a
say, for
lot of
instance,
black market for this. You know what I mean?
right, and that's where a lot of this that's
They-
where some of this stuff kind of seems a little fishy. You know what I mean?
right.
Because you didn't now this particular one here. Um, you why come just his heart was gone? Nothing else. Nothing else was gone. His cause of death was actually unknown. Okay. But but here's the thing. This man, he been getting a raw deal from the beginning. This man here had actually talked to his mother 90 minutes before they called her and let her know that her son was dead. He actually had a phone conversation with her.
What?
Yeah. Also, this man here, 43 years old, got 99 years in prison for burglary.
Yeah, and burglary is no joke. But
You can kill somebody. You
yes,
can you can take somebody off this planet and get less years than that.
which is insane.
You get 99 years for stealing.
Right. Let's. I mean, it's everything is circumstantial for sure, and you never know if it was aggressive or not. Whether they were, had a firearm or not, or if they used it and killed people. You have no idea. But yeah, no, this is very strange. This seems somewhat targeted. I think this is kind of like something where it's like obviously there's more behind the scenes, and I'm sure there's something there where it sounds like that there might be a possibility of a black market here. You never know. I mean, I'm not. That's just my guess. You know what I mean? Just off of the top of what I'm hearing right here, right now. You know?
Hmm. Yeah, it's crazy. But I got a video here right quick talking about Mr.
Okay.
Dodson here. kind of sheds a little light on his situation. So I'm gonna drop it in right quick.
Let's do it.
Alabama prisons are some of the worst we've ever seen, with regular overdoses, abuses by staff, assaults leading in death, and assaults of an intimate nature. But now the Alabama prison system has literally lost a man's heart. Brandon Clay Dodson was sentenced to serve 99 years in Alabama prison for burglary, which in itself is absolutely insane, and that is also the place where he lost his life. After his passing, this 43-year-old man's family tried for a week to get his body released for a funeral, and by the time they did, the body was so severely decomposed, they had to hold a closed casket ceremony. And not only that, but when the family and others had questions about how the death had occurred and how this decomposition could have possibly happened in such a quick period of time, the second autopsy revealed an even more startling fact, that his heart was missing. And to this day, despite the lawsuit, despite these national articles, despite public pressure, no one can give any explanation or find any paperwork about what happened to Dodson's heart. So whether we're talking about the 99-year sentence for burglary, or the fact that people live in conditions that are so unsafe and so unsupervised that abuses and deaths are commonplace, or the fact that a man's heart is still missing to this day, Alabama has a lot of questions and very few answers.
Man.
So what you think about that?
This whole thing is wild. I don't even know where to start, dude. This is that, dude. Even like how I wish they were connected to StreamYard so that I could see your name right there. But black market organs starting to sound a lot more possible. Maybe DNA matches are making these men targets. Like, yeah, man, this is getting wild. Life is a trip right now, dude. We're living in some crazy times.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So
I mean, I guess every time frame has its own craziness, I guess, but not. I mean, like I don't look at the 1950s and think of it as like this crazy, but I look at it from my point of view. I guess I have no idea how it could be for someone else.
Well, you know, anybody that's under the care of the Department of Correction, and you happen to pass away for any reason, there is supposed to be a full investigation on that.
Right.
And everything dealing with that body has to be very thorough. You know, you got to be able to answer every question dealing with that body as to the who, what, when, where, and why. You know, so if it ever comes up, then you got answers for it. Caring for the actual body is the foremost importance. So when you get this body back 6 days later, man been gone, 6 days later, you get it back, and he has so much decomposure that you cannot have an open casket.
No,
funeral.
no, you wouldn't be able to do an open casket after 6 days.
So how much care was you giving them?
No, it sounds like a lack of care for sure.
Right. Did you not store them in a fridge or in a refrigerated room? Or did you just have them just sitting in a regular room at room temperature with a bag or in a bag?
Or maybe back in the freaking hearse or something.
You know, so I mean, it just don't make sense.
It's in the back of a truck.
For you to have right. In order for you to have that amount of decomposition, you have to be exposed in natural elements,
right,
and a
certain air
room
and
temperature,
everything, right,
and a certain room temperature above 55 degrees for maximum decomposition. So within 6 days, if they're to the point that they cannot even be exhumed to the public because of severe decomposition, which means you just had them in a regular room or you had them stored in a body bag and they just sat there and sweated in a room at room temperature. That's what you did.
Holy shit. This is madness.
You know, so sometimes when you got these people here and they telling you all this stuff, sometimes you got to sit there and look and you got to put the pieces together, and because the math ain't math in here as to what's going on. But they've also been thousands and thousands of complaints about the mistreatment and the starvation of a lot of these prisoners. Okay. Um, I got
Man,
I
that's so
got
sad, man.
I got I got two I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you one, and then I'm going to back it up with another one. They're
You can
both
do
of
back
them
to
are very
back.
small, but one is going to talk about the actual abuse of one particular prisoner. Now, and when you see it, you'll know exactly what it is I'm talking about. As
Mm.
to number one, there's no way in the world that nobody knew this was going on, because you're going to see it big as day. And two, why did they not do anything? You know, the second one I'm going to show you is, now mind you, you're in prison. I get that. A lot of people say, well, you in prison. Everybody know about the prison food. Everybody know prison food ain't cool. We know that. Okay. But you also know that, just to live, you gotta have a so many calorie intake every day in order to just survive.
Which is
You know what I mean?
1,500 calories. 1,500
Right. And
calories per day. You need minimum just to
right.
survive.
Mind you, you also realize that the government paying these prisons thousands of dollars per prisoner per month for their upkeep. But I'm gonna show you what they're in this particular state, in a couple of these particular prisons in this state, what goes on. So let me show you the one about the abuse first, and then I'm gonna show you the food. But I'm working it into something that when I show you this one, it's gonna break your heart. But let me show you these two first, though.
Mm.
All right, my brother, may I ask you your name and your AIS number?
My name is Katerian Minor. My AIS number is 203-902. 203-902.
And I noticed that you had an injury in the back of your head. I don't know if it's an injury or infection or some kind of skin issue. And can you explain how you got that, how maybe you got that?
Some kind of way it just occurred, and I went to the infirmary, and they ain't do nothing about it. And
They ain't did nothing about it. And how many times would you say you've been to the infirmary trying to get help?
Maybe once or twice.
Once or twice. Can the people, if you don't mind, can they see what the issue is? Wow. Okay, a good look at that. And is it burn? Is it irritating? Is it
very irritating?
Very irritating.
Very irritating. Itches and everything. Hurt. Just painful and everything.
Did they give you anything to at least cover it up?
No, they didn't.
And the hair, I know that the hair part is coming out of it too, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, okay, that's a good look. We're gonna try to get some help, and we're gonna notify the appropriate people, man. I appreciate you getting the interview with.
I was born by the river in a little old tent. Oh, just like the river I've been running ever since.
Now, did you see that on the back of that guy's head there? Did you see that?
Yeah, I sure did.
That ain't nothing that happens overnight.
No.
Okay.
No.
That took a while to happen. Now mind you, I'm a barber by trade. That took a while to happen.
Yeah, you know this stuff, man.
And from what that looks like, not only did it went down far enough to where he can never grow hair there again.
Right. I mean, that looks like total zombie level. Like the flesh being eaten away. That's incredible.
Yeah, that's dug down.
And they didn't even give him anything for like a numbing cream or something like that, or at least an antibiotic or something. Like, dude, what is going on?
Well, you need more than antibiotic now.
Absolutely. But like, I'm looking at like 2 years ago, like what, how did it look 2 years ago?
Yeah, that was, that's
wow.
Crazy. Now on that second one there, you see, I showed that even though just a quick clip, But I'm
Yeah.
showing that because it's not a situation where the Department of Correction do not have money to feed these inmates.
That's what I
not
was
the
going to say.
problem.
Do they not have the funding?
They have the funding. They get thousands per inmate per month. You know what I mean? They get that if nobody get it. So how is it that you get all this money for these people, but you don't take care of these people?
Well, you basically give away, like I look at what food stamps is, right? They give away actually a lot of money worth of food per person. So, and that's completely free. Imagine if they were to give that same, just even 50% of what you can get from food stamps in prison, like that value worth of food. Like, because the thing is, it's crazy to me. Food is like a social service that is number one. Like, we'll give you all this food, we'll give you this, we'll give you that, like to make sure you're surviving. At bare minimum, you got your food. You know, if you don't have food, that's on you because you're not even looking. You're not even making the phone calls. You're not looking to get it.
Mm-hmm. You know, no matter your situation, no matter what you did, you in prison, okay, fine, you're there. Everybody that's in there should have the same fundamental right to decency, which by law they do.
Right.
The same
I mean,
fundamental right to decency as anyone else. Now, the reason why I showed you this is because I want to talk about a guy by the name of Castillo Vaughn. And this young man here is currently out. He's currently out. They got him out and was able to help him. I mean, okay, now he's not out of prison. They got him out of there and was able to help him before he ended up being another victim. But I'm gonna play this video. I'm gonna show you. But before then, let me tell you what happens. So you have this individual that's locked up for whatever reason that he's locked up for. I'm not gonna get into that.
right. It doesn't matter.
Now, right. Okay. But prior to him being locked up, he was shot and he had to go have surgery, which entailed them having to do intestinal surgery. Okay, because where the bullet came through, it messed up his intestines, and they had to do an intestinal repair.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what they did, so his surgery, as soon as his surgery was over, you would think like, okay, they keep him in the hospital, monitor him, give him, check the wound, dress the wound, antibiotics, stuff like that he needs until he gets well. And then you transport him back to the Department of Corrections, correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wrong. What they did to this man is as soon as his surgery was over with, they shipped him right back to the prison and put him right back in general population.
Stop it.
From surgery. Fresh from surgery.
There's no way.
Yes, way. But let me show you what happens to him.
Dude.
One answers after receiving disturbing images of their brother inside a state prison. The family from Mobile claims he doesn't look healthy and he is in need of medical care. Now, the images already shared hundreds of times on social media. Now, we want to warn you, some may find these pictures disturbing. This is Elmore Correctional Facility inmate Castillo Vaughn. The images you're seeing on your screen prompting a public outcry. WSFA 12 News reporter Ashley Bowerman spoke with his family today, who says they are outraged over what they say is the abuse and mistreatment of their loved one.
What if that was your family? You got a picture of your big brother and your big brother looked dead.
The family of 32-year-old Castillo Vaughn is calling for help after these disturbing images were sent to them from inside the Elmore Correctional Facility.
For his eyes to be rolled back and him just sitting right there in general population, I'm like, this like a zombie.
The family from Mobile says when they last visited Vaughn in June, he was healthy. But they say about 3 weeks ago, he called them complaining about stomach issues. So they say he asked for medical treatment.
And no one was giving it to him. And when they did, it was like the bare minimum.
They say days later, they then received a call from an inmate, letting them know Vaughn had been taken into surgery at the prison's medical facility. The inmate told them he had part of his small intestine removed.
We weren't even informed of the surgery at all. The inmate said it was less than 32 hours he was back in there with 32 staples going down his abdomen.
They say they had reached out to the Department of Corrections multiple times, who had promised them that he would be in good care, only to receive these images days later. That's when they took to social media calling for help. We reached out to ADOC, who told us they understand there is concern about Vaughn's welfare. They said in a statement, part quote, he is assigned to Elmore Correctional Facility, but is currently housed at Staten Medical Observation Unit. ADOC's Office of Health Services has fully investigated his situation from a clinical perspective, and he has been offered all necessary treatment for his condition. Also, he has been in touch with his family to update them on his situation.
He's been offered all necessary treatment. Now, y'all are trying to treat him because he's on the media. The boy has been asking y'all for help.
Vaughn is serving a 25-year sentence on multiple charges out of Baldwin and Mobile counties for unlawful breaking and entering a vehicle and first-degree robbery. Now, the family tells me they have not been in touch with Vaughn since his condition started to escalate. They have also not heard from ADOC. They say their main concern right now is making sure their brother is healthy. And once he is, they say they want to transfer him to a different facility. I have reached back out to ADOC about if families have to be contacted when a family member has surgery inside of a state prison. I'm still waiting to hear back. Val.
All right, thank you, Ashley. Vaughn was up for parole in June, but it was denied. He will be eligible for parole again in June of 2027.
Now you see why I brought that up.
This is, I mean, dude, it's so disturbing, and I know that a lot of prisoners get mistreated. You know, I'm heavily, I watch like a lot of the prison side of YouTube. I know that it's kind of a dying niche right now, and not a lot of people are watching that kind of content. But I watch a lot of prison stuff and the mistreatment. Now, there's of course we're going to have jails and prisons, and we have to have law and order. It's just the way it is, but it's not like any other country. Like we look at this all as a business, as total capitalists. You know, like each person is actually just a number of you know, they get a paycheck out of you, and that's sad. And then for you, if they don't like you, well, they're just going to deny you all sorts of service. They're just going to, like they did to that man with his with this, it's not just scalping, whatever is going on there, whatever infection is going on there, whatever virus is going on. Yeah, they're not helping them whatsoever. It's sad. I've seen a lot of this, and I totally believe in a different type of like prison reform. You know what I mean? Because I see this, like what you showed, like what those people were eating. Those people were eating that like what a hot dog that wasn't cooked. You know, and a piece of cheese, American cheese. Like that's crazy to me. That's crazy. You know, like you could be eating way better than that for free, essentially.
U.S. prisons are big business.
Okay? It's a huge capitalist business.
You have your regular prisons that's ran by your state and federal government, and then you also have private prisons as well.
Now, why is that even allowed?
That a lot of these millionaire and billionaires are actually investing in these private prisons. You know, Michael Jordan was one. And you know, I can go down a list.
No way.
Different, yes way.
Oh wow.
I can go down a list. You know, people that's investing in these private prisons because they get that kickback of so many, that's why they putting so many people in them. You know what I mean? Because they get kickback off of that.
Right. They get
You know what I
paid.
mean?
Every person literally is a paycheck. Which is crazy.
Yeah. So they get good money off of that. You know what I mean? Off of so why do you think that they sending so many people to jail? Now, here's the thing though. Now, if you can go to a prison like this, like what I just showed you, and you noticed one thing about Mr. Vaughn here, when they were showing those pictures and they showed him laid over. Now, he was in general population, laying in a dirt mound. Because that's what he was leaning up against, was a dirt mound.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that was a dirt mound. So
what is going on?
So if that's the case, then they living up under these conditions. How come in federal prison is like Club Med?
It is.
You got actual dorm rooms.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's
dude, even the food
right.
is better.
Everything's different. The food's different. Everything's different. The atmosphere is different. You don't go through none of that.
It's so weird. We got to do a whole prison segment of eventually where we talk about why the United States even allowed prisons to be privately owned. Like, why would anybody sign off on that and say that's a good idea?
Mm-hmm. But they do.
That's crazy.
And as long as they keep doing it, it's gonna continue that. No, there's no other country on the planet that has more prisons than the United States.
Exactly. Yep. And prisoners too.
Exactly.
Yep.
There is no other country.
We are the number one. We outbeat everybody, which is insane.
Right. And the whole thing is it's a money game.
It totally is. It's a money grab.
Mind you, you gotta have some. Now let me say, I'm not saying that prisons aren't necessary. What I'm saying is that
right. We have to understand
it doesn't have to be at the scale that it is now. And if it is at the scale it is now, and the money that they're making off that, you should be able to provide the same amount of care for them in Alabama as you do them over at Club Med, and the same ones over in the federal joint, and the same ones in New York or whatever.
A total
it should be
universal,
across the board.
Yes.
Right.
You should not
have a man. You should not have a man that has surgery, and then you got to call this man's family and tell them y'all need to come up here and do something because he's sitting over here, he barely living.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
Y'all did no medical care on this man whatsoever. You know what I mean?
Sickening.
That doesn't make sense.
This is the stuff that it really agitates me. It's like we could be doing so much better in our society, but yet this is what we decided to do as Americans.
Mm-hmm.
Like we said, yeah, granted, there has to be cops and there has to be prisons and jails and stuff like that. I understand that in order for a society to actually function and not have total chaos, you have to have law and order of some kind.
Right.
Exactly like you said, it doesn't have to be at the degree that it's at here in America compared to other countries. But granted, Americans, the one thing about us compared to the rest of the world, we're wild in our own way,
Mm-hmm.
So
now even with the ones that I just talked about, and I got two more that I'm gonna talk about here in a minute. So excluding Mr. Vaughn because Mr. Vaughn is still alive, but the other ones that I was talking to that has passed away, why wasn't these people notified? Why was there not any permission given? Now you remember when we did the Mississippi Burning Show, we talked about something similar to this.
Yes.
Where people not asking for authorization. They just doing what they want to do.
Right. They just got it like that. Like they can just shot call like it's no big deal, like nothing.
Right. I mean, but then too, you got to think about where you're at. The first time we was talking about Mississippi. Now we're talking about Alabama, which is
So
right
we're
beside it.
so
So it
we're
ain't
just
really like,
talking about the same very deep South. That's
yep,
what we're getting at here
right,
for
right.
sure.
And like I said, they're not, they ain't even racial as to who they doing it to, because the two people that we talked about from the beginning, both of them gentlemen are Caucasian.
Yeah, no, for
So,
sure. I mean,
so,
it's
they didn't
across the
mind.
board. I get it.
Right. Yeah, it's across the board, because the one I'm getting ready to talk about now he's a black man. And they did the exact same thing to him. And he passed away for whatever reasons. And he also showed up with 0 organs. 0.
Zero.
0.
Nothing.
No, nothing.
Gutted.
Now, here's the thing. This man here as well, they talked to his mother within a couple of hours of him passing away. He had talked to his mother. According to the report, he had OD'd on fentanyl. Okay. So he OD'd on fentanyl. He OD'd on fentanyl. Why'd you take all his body parts?
Right.
Why'd you take his organs? You know what I mean? Because think about it. If he OD'd on fentanyl, that means what? All his organs is basically saturated with fentanyl, right?
Right. Right.
You can't use them for nothing.
No longer good.
Right. You couldn't transplant him to somebody else because he OD'd
He
on
died
fentanyl,
because of the
supposedly.
fentanyl.
Supposedly, allegedly, let's say he allegedly OD'd. He allegedly OD'd on fentanyl. So if that was the case, why did you take all of his organs?
Mm.
Why did you take the man's organs if he OD'd on fentanyl?
This is crazy. All
Yeah.
organs gone.
Everything gone.
Triple
Everything
P
gone.
says the organ trafficking rabbit hole gets dark and ugly really quick. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Now I knew that there's going to be a black market for this. As soon as we discussed this topic, right away I was like, "There's got to be
market. It's been a black market for body parts for a while. For
right
a long
ever
while.
since they could do transplants or whatever. Right, ever since they
mean,
could actually do. I don't know how long ago that they could necessarily swap a heart out. Were they doing that in the 80s? Were they doing that in the 70s? Were they doing that in the 50s, 40s? I don't know.
well, back in the early 90s, you had reports of people they doped them up and they woke up in a hotel room in a bathtub packed with ice, and somebody took a kidney from them or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
You've
And
had that.
I think the kidney thing was like the big thing back then, right? Like wasn't that like the
Mm-hmm.
first thing they started replacing was kidneys? So
Yeah,
maybe
So they big on
I'm kind of ignorant on this subject, of organs, but
right. But you think though, you got one of them old billionaires that needs a new ticker. They're gonna find one.
yeah, they'll get it. They'll get
They're
it.
gonna find one.
Yeah,
You know
because
what I mean?
money
They're not
talks.
gonna sit on right. They're not gonna sit on no list and wait for one to come to them.
No, they're not going to wait the 8-year, list down the line of a wait. They're going to go here. Here's this envelope of cash. Boom.
Exactly.
Next day shows up to you. Yeah, crazy. Money does
Yeah,
a lot of crazy things in this world. It's what people do with that money. It's not money itself. It's the mindset of people when they get money or need money or whatever. It's wild. It's wild out here. It's crazy
Mhm.
that we have a somewhat civilized. Well, I would say really civilized cities across the world here that they're really civilized. In the grand scheme of things, there could be total chaos at all times, but yet people are okay and actually civilized with each other, which is very that's crazy in a society to be able to do. It's mind blowing, really, how politics, geopolitics, and stuff like that, and how people get along with each other and cultures and stuff. It gets really weird and interesting, but I'm sure kind of like what they were saying is like organ harvesting around the globe. Pan-Africans are targeted, with women targeted the most. I don't remember the actual numbers. Yeah, see,
Mhm.
that's crazy. Colombia is high for that. What? Yeah. No, that's gross, man. That's gross. That's terrible.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Now,
I guess
there's
there's a huge demand for organs, huh?
oh yeah, oh yeah. It's been that's one of the big things. You know, that's one of the parts. You know, back when we did the story on the human trafficking, that
Yep.
was that's another one of the things that they were doing. You know what I mean? So you had sex trafficking, you had uh, trafficking the younger kids for slave labor. They was also kidnapping people and using them for just basically for extra parts, harvesting organs.
Jesus. That's
You know
crazy.
what I mean? Yeah, I mean it's been a huge market for that for umpteen years. You know what I mean? Now, mind you, on this particular situation, you have the Department of Correction, you have the them in conjunction with University of Alabama Birmingham that they got this agreement where okay, any kind of autopsy, whatever, we can take them over here and they're going to do the autopsy there. Okay, fine, you can do them there because that's what you signed a contract to do. But you still got to have you still got to give these these bodies the proper respect because they weren't donated to you. They weren't donated to you as cadavers to do whatever you want to do with. You're there to do an autopsy. You're there to do this, examine what you need to examine, make your report, and then send them to their people so that they or to to the funeral home or the whatever the people that arranged or whatnot in order to get them buried properly, not just open them up just to take what you wanted out of them and then just send them on their way. You know what I mean? It's like where's the decency in all that? You know what I
We
mean?
don't have any. We don't have any decency.
You
Come
know,
on now.
I
We're
mean, and
savages.
then right. I mean, it's like okay, so you done made me a donor. And I ain't even signed to be a donor. You know what I mean? You gonna come up and take everything anyway. You know, which doesn't.
So, Archbishop, you told me to have one for you. That's exactly what I'm doing right now. So, cheers to you. You
I
told me.
appreciate that.
You said have one for me. All right. Well, I will have one for you. Absolutely. And the last time I even drank was on the Diamond Effect last week. So we're
Mm.
partying. The Wednesday night parties.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, for the past 5 days, my breakfast, lunch, and dinner has been
Liquid.
liquid.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What
So the
what
last
that's
thing I'm looking at is liquid.
yeah, what can you taste anything or anything like that when you were I mean like what kind of liquids are you on?
Um, chicken broth, beef broth.
Oh, okay, so you're on that kind of liquid. Okay, I
Yeah,
understand.
apple juice, Jello.
Yep.
You know.
So when I first came out of surgery, I was the same way. Well, all of my surgeries, I guess, they were all like that. The very first time I woke up in the hospital, that's when I had a tube down my throat that was basically keeping me alive. It was that and when I woke up, they pulled that tube out of my throat. It felt like I could only breathe through a straw. It gave me full panic. I remember waking up and having full panic because I couldn't breathe. Yeah, it was crazy.
You see that?
10,000 kidneys were sold on the black market, meaning one kidney was sold per hour for the entire freaking year. Wow. Wow. That's just in 2010. Imagine what it is now. Like, could you imagine?
Well,
Like,
probably it is. Probably this message here. Hold on.
oh shoot. At 4 attempts, Siri was looking around Oregon Harvest. When it finally got right, it showed something for about 8 seconds. I was like, oh, well, thank you for trying.
Right. Even Siri knows. I'm like, oh no, I ain't about to get in that one. Mm-mm.
Yeah, no.
So,
Well, see, dude, it's hilarious because we talk about these things that people don't normally talk about, even Siri won't talk about, right? But it's hilarious. Every time we go and do this on my side, I get demonetized every time. So guys, this whole show is heavily supported by viewers. Okay, guys, we don't necessarily get the best treatment from YouTube. So thank you guys for everyone that's donating and just being here. It means the world. So appreciate you guys.
yeah, it's I mean, it's a crazy world that I sat back for the past couple of days while I was going through a lot of this stuff and just thinking back, because because everybody knows somebody that's in a situation, that's in the institution for whatever reason,
Facts. Yep.
and one of the things that go through your head is like, okay, are they going through anything close to this? You know what I mean? Are they okay? You know what I mean? Are they being treated fairly? Are they getting the
You don't
care
have
that
a
they
right
need?
to abuse them. Like, many instances people get abused, obviously, which shouldn't be happening. That happens all the time. Whether it's throwing a cup of piss or whatever on an inmate, it's messed up. It's messed up. What happens in
Mm,
these prisons? It's unfortunate.
yeah, yeah. It was man.
I
I'm gonna
wouldn't
tell
want
you,
that
as I
for
started.
anybody.
hmm I was going through some stuff on there, and like I said, I didn't I didn't do this show to talk about, like, oh, we don't need prisons, we don't need this, we don't need that, because that's a lie. You need them. You need them.
You do.
You know what I
Whether
mean?
I don't look, I'm not saying
I don't agree
none
that
of us
everybody
are
need to be there.
right. I'm not no cop lover, all right? But I'm telling you,
Mm, yeah,
unfortunately, you
yeah,
do need them in society in order to have a peaceful society that actually abides by somewhat. There's law. You have to have law and order. You have
right,
to.
right. Like like I said, some actually need to be there. You know what I mean? Some actually there
But why
that,
is there any private
um,
prisons? Like, for instance, like why?
well, I man, like you said, because it's a money game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all.
Yeah.
That's all a money game. But I'm saying, but let me ask you this: how many people do you think? Because I know some people. I know some people that's actually in prison right now, going through everything that everybody else is going through, that didn't do the crime.
Right. Right.
That
There's
that what I mean. So how do you think it feels to sit in a prison with rapists and murderers and drug dealers, whatever, because it's a huge spectrum, and know that you in there for the wrong reasons?
right. I mean, like, here's the thing: is I understand that point of view and also look at the flip side at the person. Well, what about the people that actually are guilty of these charges? So you need to have it, but I see what you're also saying as well. 100%, you have people in there that have not committed that crime, and yet they're serving the time. They're in there for 25 years before they figure out, oh, he didn't do it, let him out, like nothing happened. Like, what do you mean, dude?
Yeah,
How you just stole my life.
right. You're already institutionalized. Your life
Right.
over.
Yep. Totally.
So even the person who wasn't a criminal at that point in time, you just made him one.
Oh wow, look at this. So Facebook user says, okay, guys, I found this. 5% of all organ transplants around the world are illegally done. Another thing I found, there is an 18% increase in funding of private organ transplants outside of insurance in the last 10 years. Remember, I told you, imagine just 10 years later? That means
Mhm.
people, 18% of people that need transplants or believe in transplants that have the money have stepped, waived insurance, and donated cash. Wow, dude. Oh my God. That's crazy. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I appreciate it.
No, that's a fact. You coming on tonight is legendary. It's totally legendary. But
You
yeah,
know,
see,
I
oh,
said that.
see, I wish I could see his name. Unfortunately, it's not linked. He says I did 4 years and didn't do the crime. So wow,
Mhm.
like
Well,
that's unfortunate.
I bought that up. I bought that up for a reason, because that particular situation, just like whoever this Facebook user is, put your name out there so I know who it is.
Yeah.
The reason why I bought that up is because I went through that same exact shit. I sat in jail for 5 years for something that I ain't fucking do.
No
And
way.
and
For real?
everybody knew I didn't fucking do it. And I sat there.
No
And I
way.
sat there. Even the judge herself said, I know you didn't have anything to do with this.
There you go. I got you. Facebook
And
user
sat there.
Jazz.
Oh, that's Jazz. Okay. What's up, Jazz? Sat there, knowing every day that you sitting there that you didn't fucking do it.
Oh, it would kill me. It would kill me
And
to
now
sit there going, dude, I didn't even do it, man, and I'm here, stuck here, and I didn't even do it. Like
Yeah.
there's no way. I would lose it every day. How would you not?
Yeah. So that's when survival mode kick in, because now you're like, okay, so don't nobody fucking believe me. Okay, so now I gotta survive through this shit. You know what I mean? Because I gotta make it home.
Look,
You know what I mean?
Callie
That's
says,
what you do.
I know someone that did 10 years, didn't commit a crime. He didn't have money for a lawyer. Yeah, see, and that's the two-tiered justice system for you right there. You know what I mean? If you have the money to back it up, well, you can get yourself a nice lawyer that will make deals and has connections behind the scenes and has all this, can call up, because realistically, in the whole court, all that's all baloney. It's all decided behind the scenes. It's not decided there. It's decided behind the scenes unless you're getting jured, you know what I mean? So, yeah, if you're getting from a judge, if it's coming from a judge, yeah, it's all been decided behind the scenes. And that's
Yeah.
something that we should
Well,
also we should do an episode about prison and the way that the justice system is, the two-tier justice system. But it's hard because we always do these world events. It's happening as it's coming. Like we do these once a week shows, and every once a week there is something crazy going on. For
that's how the
real.
world works. That's how the world works.
Mm-hmm.
You always find something. I'm telling you, it seems like I could be like this week. It could be Friday, Saturday. Somebody call and be like, "Hey, you got any idea for the show?" I'm like, "No, not a clue." And then I get off the phone, and like Saturday evening, they go, "Boom, got it." You know what I mean? It don't take long at all. It really don't take long at all.
Crazy. Man, that it's so sad to see happen to our own people. These are what happened to love thy neighbor, Like now it's all F everyone and give only people pieces of American cheese and hot dogs and use get used as just a walking thing that gives you money per month to a private prison system. Like then we come into two-tiered justice systems. Like, dude, like this is incredible. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, I love talking about the things that we have been talking about because I follow a lot of this stuff and I follow a lot of world politics. I follow a lot of stuff that's going on in the United States. And I don't really get to do that on my normal shows. You know what I mean? Like, and being able to come on here and be able to talk about something that's really wild once a week. We're talking about some wild shit. This every week it's some wild shit. And so I love that we do this, being able to show what's really happening in real time. I mean, this is marking history right here. You know what I mean? Like, people will be able to look back on this at this date, whatever, to talk about this, blah, blah, blah. And they go, wow, like there was an actual history here made. So,
I like to put, like, notice when we start talking about stuff like this, I like to put names with it. And the reason why I put names with it is because it puts individual respect to that particular person. Like, okay, I'm putting your story out here. You know what I mean? I'm putting something out that you can't talk about. I'm gonna put it out here for you. You know what I mean? Because some of that, sometimes a lot of this stuff happens, and their family members, whatever, they're not able to get it out. You know what I mean? And it'd be stuff that they want to get out, and they want somebody to know their story. They want somebody to go out and actually give a damn and talk about it. You know what I mean? Now, mind you, I don't know any of these people.
Granted.
But I'm gonna talk about them. I'm gonna talk about them, and I'm gonna put it out there because what happened to you was wrong. You know what I mean? And at that particular time, I felt like, you know what? These guys here, they need their story told. It needs to be told, and it needs to be told the right way. You know what I mean? People need to understand that, you know what I mean? Just because I may be behind these bars, that doesn't make me any more or less of a person.
Right.
You know
No,
what I
it
mean?
doesn't. It doesn't. You're exactly. It doesn't.
I still have rights just like you. I still deserve decency just like you. And when my time comes and and my family have to do what they need to do with me, I deserve that same respect, whether I'm in prison or sitting on my living room table.
All right, we got the phone line open up for the gentleman that said that they wanted to get the phone. Well, I don't know if it's gentleman. I assume there.
Who's it, Jazz?
Is it Jazz that said that? My apologies. So there you go. There's the phone line right there. No worries. You're good. You're good. But yeah, so this is a little bit gnarly, man. Like, organs just being disappeared out of nowhere. Like, and why? Why, dude? And there's so many unanswered questions. I mean, you got to follow the money, right? But at the same point, it's like, what's going on here, man? Like, who is purchasing hearts and brains, and who's purchasing this shit?
The only ones who can purchase them. The only ones that can purchase them.
Like the elites?
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
They're the ones that can pay for it, and all of a sudden just have someone gutted.
You
so crazy.
You don't see no regular Joe Schmo contractor or construction worker walking in the hospital and say, "Hey,
unknown caller."
Here I go. I got it right here.
Hold on. It goes.
2.
Hello. We got Jazz in the building.
Yeah, okay, I got you. Good, I got you. Oh my God, the print is too small. I'm like, oh.
No, you're good.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
How's it going? Much love and respect.
It's a brother, man.
What's up, Jazz?
We hit smart things in this one. Y'all hit some tender spots in this one. It's to be in the custody of the government and die. It's unacceptable. How could you be in the custody of the people that are, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's just insane. But Bishop, you were talking about I did my 4 years. And I didn't do the crime, and the cop told me he knew I didn't do it, but he had a pen and paper. There wasn't nothing I can do about it if I couldn't afford a lawyer. Because the public defender's office and the prosecution office, the DA's office, are in the same building. Eat lunch together. They make deals based on the file. My last case, my last charge, I'm a convicted felon now. Three times convicted felon now my entire life. And I get caught with a firearm, but I can afford a lawyer. I got 2 years probation. That's the difference. It's not really black and white anymore, even though that still exists. It's money.
It is.
If you can afford a lawyer,
all money. It's all
if
money
you can
now.
pay the price,
Yep.
you can pay the price, you get your right.
You're 100% right.
Just
And
plain
it's not necessarily black and white anymore. You're really right about that. And I'm going to be real. It really is a money grab.
That's still there.
No, it's still there. I'm not going to dismiss it. I'm not going to dismiss it, but I'm saying that it's more of a money problem now.
Oh, God. A rich black man will get the same rights as an average income white.
I understand
with
what you're
top
saying.
gun pointed at.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. And all of us. I saw your app tag, Insane Wheels. So I didn't know what you do. You ride. You face the same traffic stops as everybody else on a motorcycle. If you don't look like Elvis Presley driving a Dream Honda 305, if you don't look like that, you're an outlaw. You're a criminal. You're a gang member. Boom.
Totally.
You stay out the bat. If you can't pull out money, you won't be able to defend yourself.
Right.
And that's really what it's
just like
gotten
the
down
bond
to.
system. Just like the bond system. That's all a money grab right
Yeah.
there. If you got the money, well, we can bond you out and you can go home to mommy and daddy. You know what I mean?
Well, I believe in that. I don't mind paying someone 10% of the
No, of course.
because I get to go
course.
home.
If
You
it's
know?
available, I'm going to take it. Absolutely. I mean, I've used it
Yeah.
myself. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to sit here
Yeah.
and say
Yeah.
no. It's a terrible thing. No, it is. But that right there is a money grab in itself. Like I have two of my best friends in the world. They own a bail bondsman. They own a bail bonds whole ordeal shop.
Lucrative income.
It's extremely lucrative. Absolutely. But I understand the business. I understand the business, and it's all about money, man. It's crazy. It's wild.
There was something else I was thinking. Like in my case, my case is open. What they call a case file, open when they're in a courtroom and the case is closed. It's public record, so anybody can go and look at mine.
Right.
And if you look carefully, you can just see the way it happened. The paperwork got worded in a certain way.
Always.
To where I'm guilty.
Yep.
But if they look at the actual evidence, I didn't do it. There's no proof. They could not prove it. And the other person that was involved was identified, proven factually, the handwriting analysis, and they had her in custody and let her go.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
now do I go back because I'm 20 years old and try to sue them? That statute of limitations, I mean, you got 2 years. So I'm still in custody, yeah, because it's still ongoing. But to me, it's not worth it because now I'm the target on myself.
Right.
If I go back and fuck with the government locally, but to clap in pockets and put it on the news, they'll kill me. They would kill you. They would kill you. I'm sitting there pretending you guys can see me pointing at the TV. They would kill you, Mike. And they would kill us.
Right.
Because they don't want that out.
100%.
Yeah, you become target. Yeah. And what got me, Arch, when you showed the two videos, that second one where the guy was shot, both my mom and my daughter died of cancer. Oh. And my daughter was dying for years. I'm cool with it, but I'm talking about she was light-skinned like me. When she passed, she was almost black. Like her body, the cells were actually dying over the last 6 months to a year while she was still alive. She had cancer, though. There was little to her body. So that explains it. But this guy was just shot. So that had to be neglect. Because he didn't have cancer. There wasn't anything killing him other than the medical treatment he was not getting. And he was in custody. Come on.
So it's just pure neglect.
that's complete. That's purposeful neglect.
Absolutely.
It's not neglectful. Negligent homicide. That's straight up. They were killing them by purposely not giving them care.
Right. That's total 1000%.
Accidentally hitting somebody because you looked at your cell phone is one thing. Oops, I made a mistake.
I look at
but
that as
here's somebody
malpractice.
asking for help and you're saying no. I'm sorry?
I look at that as almost like malpractice. You know what I mean? Like allowing someone, it's totally a different type of malpractice. Yo, Cigar Box coming in hot with that freaking membership. Yo, appreciate that. Thank you for that. Sincerely. Much love and respect.
But you guys are great. Bishop, the movie's going well. I'm going to get off the phone so others can come in. But
Absolutely.
I was using a device and trying to link it to the Facebook. And that's why you were seeing Facebook users.
Yeah, you have to
finally
like
got
link
my
it.
AirPlay.
You have to link it to like StreamYard, I think.
AirPlay.
Oh, AirPlay. Okay.
Well, I was using Cast TV and it was logging me in as a guest on Facebook.
Right.
And oops, I think it's trying to do it. It's trying to log in again, so the TV's gonna come on. I don't know what's gonna be showing.
Well, now hopefully it'll come through now.
Well, I mean, I still got you on the phone on my device, but I'm airplaying it to the TV, and the video's not going. So I'm just gonna look at the phone. But I want to give room for other people to call in.
I sincerely
next
appreciate
time you have a panel, man, you guys are doing it.
Yeah.
You guys are doing it.
Well,
I want to learn.
Let's
me.
bring you into the panel sometime soon. You know what I mean? And if you don't follow me on my social media, go follow me on Instagram if you got it.
Yeah, I got it. I'm going to.
Okay. No, you definitely should.
Because
like create one.
Well, I'm not too mobile anymore, but I still got a mouth and I still got a brain.
Hey, that's right. That's right. Speak your shit.
So, yeah, let me get off the phone so I can follow you because I'll forget. I forget shit, but then I remember shit.
That's right. That's right. I get that.
Bishop okay.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, let me hang up. Do the show because we're just chatting now. I want you guys to stay on topic.
Absolutely. I appreciate you.
People need to see this.
I appreciate that.
All right, guys. Peace.
All right, my man. See ya.
Bye.
Late. All right, guys. If you want to call into the show, 909-372-0410.
Yeah, Jazz. I've known Jazz for many years. He's a good dude, real good dude. He has a lot of knowledge. He's been out here for a long time, so yeah, he's a real good dude. I've been wanting to get him on the panel when we get something that's
like way back in the day.
Something that he could like sink his teeth into. I was gonna hit him up on one. So I hadn't forgot about you. I'm just waiting for the right one for you.
Right. No, there definitely has to be it's almost like the specialist of the topic of whatever we're talking about. You know what I mean? That's usually how that works. I'm better looking too. Absolutely. Look, I have a radio face. Okay, guys, I accept how I am. It's all good. From an outside, I feel that plea deals should be laud. What are your thoughts on that? Ooh, that's a really good question. So plea deals. Do you agree with plea deals or not? Like, should they be capped and laud? They should be allowed and or regulated. Allowed and or regulated. Because
I feel the plea deals should be outlawed.
Outlawed.
No, I don't think they should be outlawed.
You don't think they should be outlawed whatsoever? You think plea deals should be always there?
I mean, sometimes a plea deal could be your best friend. I mean, sometimes I'm not trying to do. Okay, put it like this: if somebody, let's say that you've done whatever, and your maximum is 10 years for robbery. Okay, so they'll say, okay, well, the plea deal is I'll give you 6 months, and we're just going to call it breaking and entering instead of an actual battery. we'll give it a third degree instead of a first degree, and we give you 6 months instead of 10 years. I mean, plea deal would be your way to go. I mean, I think by taking out the plea deal, you actually putting more people in jail for a longer period of time.
A longer period, right? Because you could essentially plea out for essentially instead of being in prison for let's say 12 years, all of a sudden now your time served and probation 2 years or whatever. You know, it keeps you out. So I see what you're saying.
Right.
I like that viewpoint.
Yeah, so it was,
Triple P says the current state of the justice system is a great example of unintended consequence. We should be hesitant to increase criminal penalties out of fear. I agree with that. 100%. 100%. Wow. Absolutely crazy, dude.
Yeah, so it's so we're gonna have to I know we're having fun out here, but two things. Number one, my nurse is in here. I gotta get my pain medication because I'm in pain right now.
Absolutely.
I done pushed you today.
Well, you did it very. I was gonna message you in the private chat, going like, "You okay? Like, you good to like? All right." Because we've been here for an hour and 20, so you killed it, bro. You killed it. Look at you hosting a whole ass show from the hospital.
Right.
That's so awesome, bro.
But I'll tell you what, if I don't show dedication, I don't know what will.
That's right. Look at you now. Look at that. That's incredible. So, all right, guys. I'm going to let you, Archbishop, first, if you want to say anything before you go.
Just basically, man, thank everybody for coming out like always. I always enjoy sitting out here talking to you guys. And the ones who's reached out, who knew I was down or reached out and appreciate it. The ones that came through, came by to visit, appreciate it. The ones who's that have stuck by me and helped me out, appreciate that as well. Like I said, I don't know what all going to end up coming up out of this later on, but like I said, whatever it is, then I'm gonna face it just like I face anything else. But even with all that, the show's still gonna go on.
That's right.
The show's still going on.
Speak your shit.
So,
you know what I mean? Speak your shit.
So, like I said,
Absolutely.
I appreciate all of you. Yeah, I appreciate all of you for watching. Like I said, hit that like button. Like, follow, share, subscribe. Put it out to everybody that you know. Let them watch. Let them check this out. You know what I mean? Because if you haven't noticed yet, a lot of the stuff that we putting out there, we putting it out there for a reason.
Right.
You know, not only just to educate you. This ain't just for entertainment purposes. This is to get you on point, on board, and engaged in what's really going on out here in these streets and in this world. So until next week, bid y'all do.
Much love and respect. Everybody, thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. We're going to go ahead and end off with this today. I showed this earlier today, but I'm going to go ahead and show it now only because we're having a good time and I'm never going to show this probably again. So might as well do it now. So we're going to have a good time with this.
Oh, Lord.
I can curse all I want, by the way. And I'm going to do it right now. I me. Watch how much cursing I do now. I seriously do want to thank every single one of you guys for coming in and tuning in and chilling. Maxwell pushing that motherfucking people outside school. Always getting crunked out with the kid, dude. Never mistake that shit for a seat ever, dude. Appreciate every single one of you guys. Let's fucking go. You're looking at the Grand Wizard, Warlord, Coca-Cola show dishes. And I don't have to show riches to pull up for some bad bitches. And it ain't about chivalry. It's about dope lyrics and delivery. It's about my persona, and none like a man that can do what he wanted, and none like a man that you knew on the corner. See him come up and fuck up the owner. See him throw up West Side, California. Bitch, I'm hot. It's Phoenix, Arizona. I'm Utah. I got multiple bitches. It's a new law. Keep the hold of your riches. Dumb bitch, don't spin it as soon as you get it and recognize I'm attacking you, Lieutenant. Hey! I could say what I want to say, ain't nothing to it. Thanks for riding me through it. If I call you a bitch, ain't nothing to it. Gangster rap made me do it. Hey, I can act like an animal. Ain't nothing to it. Gangster rap made me do it. If I eat you like a cannibal, ain't nothing to it. Gangster rap made me do it. I'm raw as a dirty needle. Choke an eagle. Just to feed all my people. Lyrically, I'm so lethal. Black dot sending my just to defeat you. Ice Cube is a saga. Y'all search lava and I spit lava. I got the fear of this flow. Don't get near this hole. If you're scared to go, I keep it gangster. And why should I change that? Fuck you all motherfuckers trying to change rap. But ain't she the same cat that sat back when they brought cocaine back? Try to get me a Maybach. Can you motherfuckers trying to tell me don't say that? You're the ones that would learn it from the herd bitch back in 1971. So if I act like a bitch, ain't nothing to it. Thanks to rat man who do it. If I call you never at home, ain't nothing to it. Thanks to rat man who do it. Hey, if I shoot at the college, ain't nothing to it. Thanks to rat man who do it. If I rob you of knowledge, ain't nothing to it. Thanks to rat man who do it. Thank God when I bless the mic, you finally get to hear the shit that you like. A guy talking about real life, so you can try to get the shit right. Use your brain, not your back. Use your brain, not a gat. It's a party, not a jack. For real, though. Don't be scared of other people. Walk up in there and show them that you're equal. Fuck them! And don't be mercurial. Grew up on milk and cereal. I'll never forget. Then yes, and imperial. Look at Bob. He's a fucking miracle. It could be you. If you was this lyrical, it could be her. If she was this spiritual, it's me and a lot. Go back black corners. I ain't got to be big. Cause he is my home. If I sell low crack, ain't nothing to it. Thinks the rap made me do it. If I die and I rap, ain't nothing to it. Gangsta rap made me do it. If I take you for granted, ain't nothing to it. Gangsta rap made me do it. If I fuck up a planet, ain't nothing to it. Gangsta rap made me do it. Let's go!